I quit sugar for 30 days and my body went crazy. I decided to quit sugar for 30 days thinking this was going to be this great wellness journey. Glowing skin, endless energy, the whole deal. Yeah, that's not what happened. At least not in the beginning. The first week was an absolute nightmare. And this is the story of how my body went completely haywire before things finally got better. I decided to quit sugar for 30 days thinking this was going to be this great wellness journey. Glowing skin, endless energy, the whole deal. Yeah, that's not what happened. At least not in the beginning. The first week was an absolute nightmare, and this is the story of how my body went completely haywire before things finally got better. Let's get real. My relationship with sugar was intense. It was my 3 p.m. pick-me-up, my reward after a tough day, my comfort in a bowl. That afternoon, cookie wasn't just a snack. It felt like a crucial part of my day. But the result? I was tired all the time. My energy would skyrocket and then crash, leaving me in a sluggish, foggy mess. I was completely stuck in that cycle and just knew something had to give. This wasn't about losing a few pounds. I just wanted to feel better. I wanted my energy back, to be able to focus, and to not feel like I needed a nap by noon. So I did it. 30 days, 0 added sugar, cold turkey. Section 2. Week 1. The struggle is real. The first 2 days were almost suspiciously easy. I'm thinking, hey, I can do this. Then day 3 hit, and my body waged a full-on revolt. The withdrawal was for real, no joke. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I had this pounding headache that felt like it was living right behind my eyes, and it would not quit. The fatigue was even worse. Bone-deep exhaustion where I had to schedule naps just to function. Apparently, this is what they call the sugar flu. And it is when all of the physical symptoms are at their worst. I was so irritable, my mood was on a roller coaster, and cravings for anything sweet were screaming at me. My body was used to getting quick hits of energy that it was basically throwing a tantrum now that it had to adapt. The brain fog was so thick, I could hardly keep my mind focused on work. Seriously, almost caved in and gave up more times than I can count that first week. It was one of the hardest things I have ever put myself through. If any of this sounds familiar, or if you're fighting your own battle with sugar, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're all on this journey together, and I'll be sharing more about how to get through these rough patches. Section 3. Week 2. Turning a corner. Then somewhere around day 8, things started to change. The headache finally backed off, and that crushing fatigue started to lift. It wasn't a sudden explosion of energy, but more of a steady, stable feeling all day. And that classic 3 p.m. energy slump that owned me for years? It just disappeared. My mind started clearing up, and I realized I could actually focus for long stretches without my brain screaming for a trip to the vending machine. This was also when I had my big aha moment. I started reading each and every label, and boy was I floored. There was hidden sugar in everything. My favorite pasta sauce, bread, even salad dressings. It was a huge wake-up call that showed me just how much sugar I was eating without even knowing it. The cravings were still there. They just felt more like a background whisper instead of a constant, desperate yell. Section 4. Weeks 3 and 4. The new normal and the results. It wasn't until the final 2 weeks that the real magic kicked in. Energy wasn't just stable, it was higher than it had been in years. I was sleeping so much better and actually waking up feeling rested. One of the most surprising changes was how much less bloated I felt. My stomach was flatter and my clothes were definitely fitting better. Even the scale confirmed I'd dropped a few pounds, probably a mix of water weight and my body finally learning how to burn fat more efficiently. My skin also began to look clearer and less inflamed. But the biggest change for me was my appetite. Without my blood sugar going on a roller coaster every day, finally, my hunger cues began to make sense. By the end of the 30 days, fruit tasted like the sweetest candy imaginable. Conclusion. After all that, was it worth it? Absolutely, 100%. That first week was really quite awful, but the changes that came after were life-altering. My energy is consistent, my focus is back, and for the first time, I feel like I am in charge of food, and not the other way around. Quitting sugar wasn't just about cutting something out, it was about giving my body a chance to reset. Realizing I don't need sugar to power through my day has been the most empowering feeling of all. Have you ever tried to quit sugar? How did that go for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with more of my health journeys, be sure to subscribe. Use AI to do this video, and use viral and attractive pictures.